So it seeks what it's lost.
Well, it seeks what it believes it's lost, what it feels it's lost.
It has to lose itself to be that.
It doesn't have to do anything. There isn't anything that has to happen, but the description just now of the way in which the dream arises and the sense of there being a separate was simply a description of what happens. There isn't any need for it to happen or not happen. And there's nobody that does it. There's nobody that does anything. In fact, there's nobody.
So that's the paradox.
The paradox is that there isn't the whole construct of the individual is a dream.
I mean, I've had enough of...
Sorry?
I've had enough of my me.
No, but the me can't do anything about having had enough of being me.
Is it my being that knows that then?
No, nothing knows it.
Okay, nothing.
No.
So since speaking to you maybe a week and a half ago, that there's like a sense that the me doesn't exist.
No, you can't say the me doesn't exist. The energy of me is simply energy in a contracted form. But all of that energy is only an appearance out of nothing. So the sense of being separate is part of the whole. The whole is everything, but it can also appear as something that seems to be separate from itself. So wholeness can appear as apparently separate from itself.
I can feel that energetically here now. There's a sense of that.
Well, you can't feel it. It's not for you. This message is not for you.
Just as well.
In fact, I would say that this is probably the worst place for an individual to be. Because what this is pointing to is the sudden collapse of individuality, which can't be brought about, but may happen or may not.
So could you substitute everything for no one in what you're saying?
No, I could substitute it with nothing. Everything is no thing. What we call the relative is the absolute. They aren't apart from each other. So everything, which we call the relative, is also nothing. It's not coming from nothing, it is nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
Anything that, the problem for me is that it labels things. So it labels the relative as though it's something there, and the absolute as though it's something else over there. And then that is the world of dualism that me lives in. And most teachings come out of that idea, that the absolute becomes the relative. And so there are two things, the absolute and the relative. In the natural reality, they're both simultaneously one thing. There's only that. Which is a paradox. How can that wall be nothing? For the me, it can't be nothing, because the me thinks it's a wall that's over there. When me collapses, it obviously is nothing walling.
Okay.
So is the only possibility to break through this entirely never-ending dream for the energy forms that dream to collapse?
Yeah. But there's nothing that can be done about it. Nothing can do anything about that. It will or it won't.
Yeah.
Don't forget, let's be clear about this, that dreamt energy is only an appearance. It's not real. So the problem for me is that me thinks something has to happen. Something's going to happen called my enlightenment or liberation is going to happen one day. The strange paradox is that actually there's nothing that needs to happen, because the whole structure of me and separation is simply real and unreal. It's not real. So it's not a real thing that has to happen. This is a paradox. We're talking about a mystery here. Mm-hmm. It's not, if you do A, B, and C, or if A, B, and C happens, then D will happen. It's not logical. The problem for me is that it wants a logical answer. Can you give them that mic? But it wants an answer, and there is no answer.
Compare this beingness of a human being to the beingness of an animal, which has no conscience.
Everything else but the human is beingness. Grass, animals, tiles, the wall is simply being. Nothing, even animals don't have the capacity to create or construct a sense of having a separate identity. They may act in ways that the human might think is human, but that's a natural reaction or an instinctive reaction, which humans have as well. They don't need a me for that. But animals can't abstract a sense of being separate. If they did, they'd start their own religion.
Absolutely.
It might happen one day. It might. Dogs going into a little dog church. Because then there would be the need to, find out why there's a sense of separation.